The game we created is Mariposa Valley. It's a cozy 2D word puzzle game where you basically have to use words to save your town. I guess I imagine it as anyone who's really interested in like narrative games, anyone who's interested in a story, somebody who likes to explore more of the world that they're in, to kind of like hear a little more backstory, because there is such a rich, like we didn't even really get to put it in the demo, but there is such a rich backstory to this town that the story takes place in. But yeah, I think somebody like, I feel like this is like an after work winding down kind of game. It's just supposed to be like a cozy, feel good game, but also brings like a little more with some of the creepier elements that start to sneak in to kind of bring that like whimsy in. Yeah, anyone who just likes a good story, a good cozy story with a happy ending, because we wanted a happy ending. We were like, there's a time and place for that, and not every story has to have a happy ending, but we wanted our story to have a happy ending.
I think one of the main things that we wanted to emphasize was the fact that anyone should be able to play the game, regardless of, how experienced of a gamer you were, or, if this was the first time you were introduced to playing a game. And that is why we were working really hard on making sure it was accessible. There were clear enough instructions that you could follow, even if this was the first ever game that you've ever played.
We had sort of a brainstorming session. We used Miro for it actually, but we had a brainstorming session where we all sort of came up with what we wanted to do in general. And we saw that there were a lot of similarities between what we all came up with. One big thing is that we all really like cryptids, and our favorite is Mothman. So that was a big kind of defining thing when it came to all of us kind of coming together with this idea. And we really just joked around a lot about the idea of Mothman, who is this cryptid in these really normal scenarios, which is actually kind of where our name came from, mundane magic, because it's something that's magic, but also Mothman going to the grocery store, things like that. So we kind of wanted to bring that idea also into the game that we were developing. So that's kind of where kind of the path, there were so many different branches, but it kind of did all come to that core idea.
In the design stories by our artist Riz, they mentioned this jokingly once that they have this curse that everything they draw is cute. And they wanted to try something new, and they interested in trying a creepy vibe to their art style, for the summer program at least, because again, one of the main things that we did in the summer program was learn new things, experiment with things that we weren't familiar with, and they wanted to try something creepy. And we generally like the idea of something that's cute but progressively gets creepy, and that is something a vibe that we really want to focus on. Even in the writing, that you will notice that there progressively strange things start to happen and stuff like that. So I think that is one of the main reasons why we went with a cutesy style, but progressively the game develops more, it's gonna get creepier.
Yeah, just echoing off of that, it was a lot of, we all loved Riz's style, but then they really wanted to try something new. They were I always make cute stuff, So I think as we kind of discussed it, we're okay, well, how can we bring what you already do and kind of branch out with it? And that was kind of what we landed on, and it turned out so cool. I love it. The team itself just makes me so proud. We come from so many such vast backgrounds and such diverse time zones, that the fact that we were able to create this thing is just so cool to me. But more personally, I think this was one of my first times producing for a game. So having to kind of break out of my shell, because I tend to be very agreeable, having to break out of my shell and make executive decisions for the betterment of the team was something that I kind of noticed myself start doing as the project progressed, and I was proud of myself for that. I was really proud of myself. And then also creating a dialogue system that our programmer could understand, and adjusting that so that Alina could plug it into the game a lot easier. And I think my adaptability with that was I'm pretty proud of that too.
I just generally love the fact that I think everybody in our team just generally loves what we made, the game that we're working on. We strongly believe in it as well. And this might sound dramatic, but I feel we all have a piece of ourselves in the game. And for example, Mariposa, the name is Portuguese, and Riz is from Brazil. And the main character, Parvana, is South Asian American. That also represents Ave and I as well. There are a lot of tiny bits as well that we were we strongly believed in and that we wanted to incorporate in the game. And I would like to say that we were kind of successful in what we had in the end result as well.
Alina didn't mention, but she just kind of busted out an entirely original like dialogue system, just made it from scratch, just said, oh, we don't have anything like this that I can find. I'm just going to make one.
Yeah, so I was finding like on the Unity asset stores and everything, but it wasn't meeting what we wanted with the game as well. And also for like future extensions, I felt like it would be better if we just had one like personalized for this game as well that we could extend upon. So I was like, you know what, just like, let me just make one myself.
There are a lot of things that we created for it that just didn't make it into the demo. There's a whole like backstory of dialogue and even more characters that I created that just didn't make it in time. So I just needed to like cut them because we needed to get the project turned in. That's something I personally am proud of, because I just love writing like backstories, and being able to like create like a whole world is very cool to me. And then, just watching everybody try something new, like literally everyone wanted to pursue something a little different, a little new. Even from the very beginning, we all knew we wanted to create a narrative game, but we wanted to make it like, something a little different. So that's something that I don't know if like a player just playing it might not realize, but everyone challenged themselves to create this demo. And I think that's really cool.
On a personal level, so I feel like for me, the biggest challenge was like dealing with the imposter syndrome. Like for me, I just generally thought I was not that good enough of a programmer. I feel like, the team maybe deserved better or something like that. So I'm from a country where basically the gaming industry is still developing. So you don't really have that many opportunities around you. So from not knowing any single person going into game dev to suddenly being surrounded by so many talented individuals was like overwhelming, but both exciting for me as well. And just generally, accepting the fact that, oh my God, I am in this now, and I can do this. Overcoming that kind of imposter syndrome was definitely a hard hurdle. The summer program has changed my entire future. So for me, I think there were a lot of times where a lot of people were questioning, oh, why would you want to go in the gaming industry? Like there aren't many opportunities and anything around you. So there was a lot of times where I was really hesitant, but I really, really, really knew I wanted to be in the gaming industry as well. So I honestly, if it wasn't for the summer program and the opportunity in the space COVID gave us to, thrive and grow and learn as people, I don't think I would be in the industry itself. But because of the summer program, it gave me the confidence that I needed, for me to determine that, yes, I do belong in an industry like this. And that's probably also the reason how I got a job in the gaming studios as a junior programmer. So definitely the summer program was a huge part. It would play a huge part in why I'm in the gaming industry right now. Because generally, it's hard as is when you don't know anyone who's taking the same path as you. Like walking on a path alone is a really, really scary thing. And the summer program gave me like an opportunity to meet other people that were going the same path as me. Probably not in the same country as me, but that doesn't matter because they were so lovely.
And watching the team, express that, they were in the same boat. Like we were all just trying to figure this out, but we still made something in 11 weeks. It just kind of gave me this sense of like, okay, like, sure, you don't have all the answers, but that doesn't mean you don't belong in the space and you can't pursue things. You don't have to be a genius in order to do something you love, because I kind of thought like I didn't deserve it. I didn't deserve to be in this space. Even when I was accepted into the program, I was like, I feel like the outlier, like I didn't go to school for this, So it definitely gave me the courage to, learn and mess up and try again and move forward. So definitely applies to many different areas of my life. But yeah, definitely in gaming as well. It has truly been life-changing for me personally. And I know for a lot of other people who have been in the program, there's no one who's gone through the program that I have heard say it was fine. Like everyone has been so empowered and just encouraged through the people who are part of it and what the program brings.
I feel like a South Asian character. I literally like cry because I'm just like, oh my God, someone who looks like me, and like I'm just tired of consuming a lot of things that are, generally not for me. And also with the gaming industry itself, it just doesn't make you feel as welcome as you should feel. And I think spaces like COVID are really, really important for that, because it is really hard for like marginalized gender to get into the industry as is. So something like this is like honestly like an opportunity sent from heaven, like for people like me at least. And it is really important for to be more representation and diverse, people working.
seeing other people in this space that look like us encourages other people behind us to continue to make games that represent everybody who plays them, which is literally everyone. Keep an eye out. We are on Twitter as Mundane Magic 2Cs in Magic. So you can follow us on Twitter for updates there. Mothman says trans rights.